Strathmore Brooks.
Mr. Speaker, while Albertans all over the province are deeply concerned about jobs, this government is more concerned about spin. You can't watch the evening news without being subjected to meaningless and vapid advertisements for this government's unpopular budget. We have now learned that the better part of $1 million is being spent on this useless partisan propaganda. With 1,500 Albertans losing their jobs every week this year, is this government proud that the government is wasting tax dollars on patting itself on the back?
Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Advertising budgets and what's in the budget is a typical, normal part of government action, and it's not the better part of $1 million. It's $750,000, which is going to TV and online ads.
Albertans might tolerate this advertising if it explained government programs or provided any factual information. Given that the Premier used to rail against this kind of taxpayer-funded propaganda when they were in opposition, and like so many of the democratic ideals they once held, it seems to be inconvenient now that they hold the perks of power. We're willing to give the Premier a mulligan on this one if she'll now do the right thing. Will the government commit to this Assembly that moving forward, taxpayers will never again have to pay for advertisements that only serve their narrow partisan interests?
This is a Government of Alberta budget, Your Worship, Mr. Speaker, and we're acting on jobs and diversification. We're acting on responsible pathway to balance, and we're acting on stabilizing frontline services. So we're providing information to Albertans, and I think that's a useful thing.
Meet the new boss, Mr. Speaker, same as the old boss. Since, until recently, the Government of Ontario's advertising had to be approved by the Auditor General to ensure that it was nonpartisan, and the NDP is advertising a government union slogan likely written by politically connected communications officers from those very government unions, will the government commit to challenging the law to ensure that taxpayers are not paying for their partisan propaganda?
What we're actually doing, Mr. Speaker, is investing in roads, bridges, and flood protection. We're talking about job creation. We're talking about a pathway to balance. All that is information Albertans want to know, and we're providing it.